And we're back. I'm Jack, your British guy, and today we've got US geography facts you never knew. Let's go.
You probably know that the Kansas City Chiefs won Super Bowl 58 in 2024. Their
I did.
second in a row. But did you know that the team's home games aren't actually played in Kansas? Their home, Arrowhead Stadium, is actually in Kansas City, Missouri, not Kansas City, in the actual state of Kansas. And speaking of Missouri, did you know that the Show Me State is home to the longest river in the US? Despite the popular misconception that the Mississippi River is the longest, it's actually the Missouri River that claims this flattering title, stretching an impressive 2,341 miles. That's barely 1 mile longer than the Mississippi.
Could you float down the whole
way? A win
way?
is a win. These are just 2 US geography facts that most people get wrong.
Holiday.
Think you know your stuff? Brace yourself for another rapid-fire 48 mind-blowing geography facts. Fact number 48. Alaska isn't the least populous state in the US. Alaska might be the least densely populated US state, but the title of the least populous state actually belongs to Wyoming, with about 580,000 residents compared to Alaska's 730,000. Fact number 47. Not all 50 US states observe daylight saving time. You know that pesky time change that messes with your sleep schedule twice a year? Not everyone in the US has to deal with it. While the rest of us are busy springing forward and falling back, folks in Hawaii and Arizona, except for the Navajo Nation, can enjoy a more constant sleep routine year-round. Fact number 46.
Why is that,
Washington, D.C. wasn't America's first capital. Now we know what
Philadelphia,
you're thinking.
wasn't it?
Duh, it was in Philadelphia. Nope. The U.S.'s first capital was actually New York City. It was in this bustling city that the first U.S. president, George Washington...
I'll be honest, I didn't even know Washington, D.C. was there. I thought it was around here somewhere. I don't know if you can see my mouse. I'm meaning like top right.
Took the oath of office. You knew that one? Okay. We'll see how you do with this next one. Fact number 45.
That's really
a fragment of
surprising.
Africa lies beneath the U.S. That's right. You might think you're living in the southeastern U.S., but you might very well be standing on a piece of Africa, stuck there after millions of years of geological shifts. Fact number 44.
Right. I'm a bit annoyed he's not explaining that, because that would be fucking cool. So I don't know. If you know about that, let me know. That's disappointing I didn't get an explanation of that.
This fact has been debated extensively. You can actually see Russia from Alaska, thanks to the Cape Prince of Wales, which is only about 50 miles away from mainland Siberia. Fact number 43. There are only 2 Caribbean islands under U.S. sovereignty.
Cuba?
There are over 7,000 Caribbean islands, but the U.S. only has sovereignty over 2. Puerto Rico and the U.S. Virgin Islands. Ready for the next one? Fact number 42.
I wish you'd explain
you could fit the world's entire population within the borders of Texas. Yes, Texas is really that massive. And no, we aren't talking about almost 8 billion people living comfortably inside the almost 270,000 square mile land area. We're only saying that they could all technically fit. Fact number 41. Texas isn't the largest U.S. state. Now, this one might outright shock you. The Lone Star State is only the 2nd largest U.S. state. In terms of sheer landmass, Alaska takes the crown, dwarfing Texas by a considerable margin. At around 660,000 square miles, Alaska is more than 2 times larger than Texas. Okay, you probably knew that one. But how about this? Fact number 40. The 4 largest U.S. cities are in Alaska. New York City, Los Angeles, and Chicago might be the largest U.S. cities by population, but Sitka, Juneau, Wrangell, and Anchorage are the largest by area. And they're all in Alaska. Fact number 39. The U.S. is home to the shortest river in the world. From the tallest...
If you lived in Alaska, though, I guess really the only way to get to America would be by plane. I imagine you could drive, but you'd have to go through Canada to get to America. That's a bit
mountain
odd.
To the shortest river, the tiny Roe River is only about 200 feet long and is located in Montana. It's all about balance. Fact number 38. The U.S. features a mountain higher than Mount Everest. At just over 29,000 feet, Mount Everest is officially the world's highest mountain. But that's just above sea level. If you measure from base to summit, Hawaii's 33,500 foot tall Mauna Kea is higher. Fact number 37. The largest distance between any 2 points in U.S. territory is almost 10,000 miles.
Wow.
Set off on a journey from Point Udall, Guam to Point Udall, St. Croix in the U.S. Virgin Islands, and you'll need to travel around 9,500 miles. That's almost the same as traveling from New York City to Sydney, Australia. Fact number 36. Route 66 isn't the longest U.S. highway.
Honestly, if you ever asked me one of the things I'd do if I win the lottery, it would be this. Like, to me, that would just
Route
be
66
amazing.
might be the most iconic highway in the US, but it isn't the longest. That honor belongs to US Route 20, which spans around 3,365 miles from Boston, Massachusetts to Newport,
Cool.
Oregon. Fact number 35, Alaska is both the westernmost and easternmost US state. Alaska is quite clearly the westernmost state in the US, extending far into the Pacific Ocean. But thanks to its Aleutian Islands, which stretch across the 180th meridian, the last frontier also houses the US's most extreme eastern point. Sorry, Maine. Fact number 34. Maine is the closest U.S. state to Africa. Don't feel too sorry about Maine, as the Pine Tree State has a fascinating fact of its own. Quoddy Head is only 3,150 miles away from the El Bedouza commune in Morocco, allowing Maine to hold the distinction of being the closest U.S. state to the African continent. Fact number 33, Maine isn't as far north as most people believe. Compared to the rest of the U.S., Maine is pretty far up north, but a large chunk of Europe, including the UK and parts of Scandinavia, extend farther north than Maine. Fact number 32. All cardinal directions from Stamford, Connecticut lead to New York. Yep, whether you opt to travel north, south, west, or sail east in this fine town in Connecticut, you'll end up in the state of New York. Fact number 31. Florida isn't the southernmost U.S. state. If you've ever traveled to Key West, you might have thought you were at the southernmost point of the U.S. But really, the true southernmost point of the entire U.S. is in Hawaii, only about 1,500 miles from the equator, and it's called Kauai. Fact number 30. Certain parts of Nevada extend further west than Los Angeles. Los Angeles is often considered a quintessential West Coast city. You might be surprised to learn that the city of Reno in Nevada is roughly 86 miles farther west than the city of Angels. Fact number 29, Los Angeles used to have a much longer name. Speaking of the City of Angels, it wasn't always called Los Angeles. It was originally known as, and hang with me here, El Pueblo de Nuestra Señora la Reina de Los Ángeles de Rio de Pociuncla. That's quite a mouthful. Fact number 28. Hawaii edges closer to Alaska every year. Every year, Hawaii moves northwest towards Alaska at a rate of about 3 inches. Unfortunately, that rate means that none of us will live long enough to see these two meet. But don't worry, the US states that actually do meet are still full of fascinating geographical quirks. Fact number 27. Only one US state is triply landlocked. Not only does Nebraska lack any ocean coastline, but it's also entirely surrounded by other landlocked states. In other words, to reach an ocean, you would have to pass through at least 3 other states, regardless of which direction you take. Fact number 26. Despite being landlocked, Wyoming has islands. Wyoming might be landlocked, but this fact doesn't stop the cowboy state from having at least 30 named islands located in its many lakes. Fact number 25. 2 U.S. states don't share borders with any other U.S. state. Landlocked, double landlocked, triple landlocked? Hawaii and Alaska can't relate. These 2 U.S. states are the only ones that don't share borders with any other state. Fact number 24. Missouri and Tennessee share their borders with the highest number of U.S. states. That's right, Missouri and Tennessee are true border hoppers, each sharing boundaries with a whopping 8 states. Talk about mixing and mingling. Fact number 23, the U.S. borders 3
It is definitely
oceans.
one of those things that I need to kind of look into of, like I said, why it is states, you know? When you look at the UK as a thing, it's 4 different countries. This is 50 different states. Like, I get there's probably mega reasons why, but like, I don't know.
Most people know that the U.S. borders the Atlantic and Pacific
to me,
Oceans,
it seems
but
odd,
did you
but
know
until I
that
learn
it
why.
also touches the Arctic Ocean? Alaska's northern coastline is the one adding a chilly third ocean to the mix. It's about time for us to shift focus to hit you with some fun and unexpected U.S. city facts. Fact number 22.
Like 3 a.m.
Orlando isn't the capital of Florida. Orlando might have the fame and the theme parks, but it doesn't have the title of Florida's capital city. This honor goes to Tallahassee, which is located in the state's panhandle. Fact number 21. Anchorage is quite a global hub. Despite its remote location, Anchorage is a major hub for international cargo, especially because it sits halfway between major markets like Asia and North America. Fact number 20. 34 U.S. states have a city or a town named Springfield. Some might believe the common factoid saying that every U.S. state has a city or a town called.
I actually remember being like 10 years old and seeing that actually there was a place called Springfield in America and being like, holy shit, that's where The Simpsons is.
Called Springfield, while others might
before
think
you
there's
kind of
only
realise-
one Springfield, famously known as the home of The Simpsons. Either way, you're in for a surprise.
Before you
Fact
learn
number
these things
19,
and
the smallest
fact and
incorporated
fiction.
town in the US only has one resident. When you
Nice.
hear the phrase a small town, you might think of charming communities with a few hundred residents, but the population of the smallest incorporated town
fact
in
you
the
call that
US,
a town
Monowi,
is
Nebraska, is a
Like, I live in something that would be called a village, and I guess if you went, okay, game, I live in a village, how many people do you think live here? You'll probably think, I don't know, 50, 60. No, there's over 3,000 people, but we're a village. A town is like 5,000, 6,000 people.
exactly one person. Fact number 18. The US has two state capitals that rhyme. Here's a silly geographical fact to shake things up. Boston and Austin are the only two US state capitals with rhyming names. Let's keep the fun going.
Boston
Fact
and
number
Austin.
17. The state
As always, we got a mid-vid sub-sesh. If you have not yet subscribed to the channel and you are a fan, make sure you're going down below right now and hitting that subscribe button. If you want to see the 2 to 3 uploads we do every single day, one sport, one video like this, make sure you're hitting that subscribe button right freaking now. I'll give you a couple seconds to do that. I'm going to sit here patiently. Thank you very much.
state of Colorado isn't shaped like a square. Don't let the maps fool you. Colorado has a much more complex shape, one that has
Rocky
as many
Mountains
as
and South Park.
697 sides.
And
That's a
Coors Field.
hexaheptaenneaconticaheptagon for you geometry buffs out there.
Lovely.
Fact number 16. The US has
nice.
a large appetite. On average, Americans tend
I
to
love
eat about
mushrooms on a
100
pizza.
acres of pizza each day.
Yeah.
But there's more. Around 20 billion
crazy.
hot dogs and 50 billion hamburgers a year. That's a lot of fast food.
You have
Fact
great
number
food, I
15,
can't lie.
You
You have
can
great
walk
food.
from Alaska to Russia. Not only
Hey,
can
we
you
said that
see
earlier.
Russia from Alaska, but you can also walk to it. This daring 2.4-mile trek could only be possible during the winter months when the Bering Strait freezes over. Ready for another rapid-fire round?
We'd die
This time
though,
of
wouldn't you? 'Cause that'd
unique
be like in the
U.S.
middle of
state
nowhere, Russia, I'd
characteristics.
imagine.
Fact number 14. Kentucky boasts more caves than any other location in the world. The
Wow.
largest cave system on Earth is located in the Bluegrass State, and around 430 out of the estimated 600 miles have been explored. Fact number 13. Only 2 U.S. states can grow coffee. Bad news for all the
Wow.
caffeine enthusiasts. Only Hawaii and California can grow the beans for this beloved beverage. So if you're craving a local taste of American-grown coffee, you'll need to head to these sunny
That's
locales.
crazy.
Fact number 12.
That
you can
is a
drive on the
crazy
left
fact.
side of the road in the U.S. Move over, Britain. The U.S.
about to
Virgin
say, wait,
Islands
why
have
do I
got
do
you covered
left,
with
yeah.
left side driving. But most cars in the USVI are imported from the mainland US, meaning their steering wheel is also on the left side. Fact number 11. Alaska has
That'd
the
be-
longest
yeah.
coastline in the US. Alaska is the reigning champion of national coastlines, with around 6,660 miles
Wow.
in total, more than every other US state combined. Fact number 10.
That is
Alaska
crazy.
also has the most earthquakes in the US. Thanks to its position on one of the world's fastest moving underwater tectonic faults, Alaska has an average
God, that
of
must be
1,000
awesome to
earthquakes
explore.
per month. Fact number 9.
Obviously, they must not
California
be
rivals
huge,
Canada
deadly.
in terms of population. California's population is almost as large as that of the entire country of Canada. With
Wow.
over 39.1 million residents, California is a mega-state that
That is
only
crazy.
trails a
That-
few
that
hundred
is a
thousand
crazy
people
fact.
behind Canada. Let's list a few quick U.S. geography facts
for it, my
in the
boy.
traditional sense of the word. Fact number 8. The western parts of the U.S. used to have enormous lakes. Over 20,000 years ago, states like Nevada, Utah, and Oregon used to contain massive bodies of water that
that
could
where
rival
Oregon
the
is,
Great
is it?
Lakes. Fact number 7.
thought that was
The 5
Midwest.
Great Lakes are technically only 4. Lake Michigan and Lake Huron are connected, making the total number of the Great Lakes 4 instead of 5. Fact number 6. The distance between the highest and lowest point in the contiguous U.S. is under 100 miles. You can stand at the peak
that would've
of Mount
surprised
Whitney
me.
in California, the highest point in the contiguous U.S. at almost 14,500 feet, and then travel to Death Valley's Badwater Basin, the lowest point at around 280 feet below sea level, and cover that
God.
entire distance in roughly 80 miles. Fact number 5, there's a tiny portion of the Appalachian Range located in France. The Appalachian Range formed before North America broke away from Europe, so French
Right.
people could call themselves hillbillies if they like. Fact number 4,
Man,
Mount
geography
Whitney
is so
isn't the
cool,
highest
though,
mountain
let's
in
be
the
honest,
US.
like, I love
At
history more, but geography is
14,505 feet, Mount Whitney is the tallest mountain in the contiguous US. But the entire US, that honor belongs to Alaska's Denali, formerly known as Mount McKinley, at just over 20,300 feet. There are only 3 facts left on our list. Let's wrap it up with a bang.
Let's make
Fact
them
number
some
3,
good ones.
only 2 US states have never recorded a temperature over 100 degrees Fahrenheit.
Wow.
One is obvious, Alaska. However, the other
Sure.
one might shock you. Since it became a state, Hawaii, the land of volcanoes and tropical breezes, has never seen temperatures
would
climb
thought that'd be one
above
of the
100
hottest.
degrees Fahrenheit. Fact number 2.
I
Dozens
guess
of
maybe
buildings in
winds.
New York City have their own zip codes. Over 40 skyscrapers in New York City, including the Empire State Building and the Chrysler Building, are so large that they can boast their own unique zip code.
Wow.
And finally, fact number 1, the Statue of Liberty isn't in New York. If you live in New York or New Jersey, you've probably had this argument a million
Where is it?
times. The Statue
Manhattan?
of Liberty might be the most iconic symbol
Isn't
of
that
the
in
Big
New York?
Apple, but it geographically resides
I'm
in
just-
New Jersey's waters. And there you
I'll
have
be honest, I'm just
50
thinking of
US
places. I
geography
don't even
facts
know
that
Mount
tend to surprise or
Manhattan
outright
is.
shock most people. How many of them did you already know? And which 2
2.
were your favorite or surprised you the most? Leave a
Let me know in the see down below next. Of course, if you enjoy seeing videos like this, let me know down in the comments what type of American or even let's explore the world. You know, we're going to do one sport every day and a video like this every day. Let me know to see, and of course, way down and hit the like button and the subscribe button. Hope you have a great day. Peace.